We suffered our first miscarriage in 2016. We used the early pregnancy assessment unit, but because obviously it was the first time that we'd been, we hoped it would be the last time. Just made everything feel a bit easier, and she just lightened the load. And when you're going through something like a miscarriage, especially when you've had 4, you need any help that you can get, and she was just always there for us.
Dad had been poorly since about November, and we'd had some tests done and everything seemed to be kind of clear, so we were just waiting for some more tests. But Dad just started to seem to get ill, really kind of faint and weak.
After I initially phoned the chemotherapy helpline, they put me in touch with the practice development team, and they seem to be the ones that are investigating this type of problem.
I've been coming for treatment or sort of procedures for the last sort of 3 years here. They are really kind, caring, considerate. They listen to what you've got to say, nothing feels rushed.
We started trying for a baby in 2019, fell pregnant really quickly, unfortunately miscarried, like I said, in the first miscarriage, and then I got pregnant straight after, which unfortunately I went to my 12-week scan and I'd had a miscarriage. So I went to the hospital, and she was the first member of staff that I actually met on the unit, which I'm forever grateful for.
Everyone on the GPA unit was amazing. We went to other wards as well, and I've been on other wards with other people, but there's just something different about them. And Georgia, it was just her and the way she cared. She cared for my dad, but she also cared for us as well.
Alison very promptly phoned me within half an hour of my initial phone call to the helpline, and was very understanding and reassuring and knowledgeable, and put my mind at rest because I was worried it was something much worse.
I remember driving home with my husband, and after everything that we'd been through that day, the only positive thing we could say was, wasn't that lady so lovely? And
we got told by the sonographer that there was something missing within the heart. There was something that she couldn't see. And while we were sat waiting, Laura just happened to be about to go home, and she ran around the hospital for about half an hour trying to find answers for us.
They're always friendly, they're always kind, it's a nice atmosphere. It can be quite undignified for a woman to go through a process or procedure like that, but you never feel like you are.
She treats you as an individual, and she wants to make sure that every experience you have at the hospital is positive, regardless of kind of the situation. She wants to be that support to you.
I knew she would be, if something happened in that time I took to get there, I knew that she was going to be with him, and so it made all the difference. It was almost like we'd put our trust into her to look after Dad.
It did make me feel like I wasn't just that lonely person, because you can feel like that with chemo. The funny things that go wrong, you think, oh, why has that happened to me? Because you don't see anyone else to compare with, and especially with COVID, there were no groups that we could go to share our story, so that was reassuring.
HA Tildy, she always used to make me laugh and feel comfortable. She'd hold my hand, and it was just that comfort, that little bit of comfort that maybe she didn't need to do, but made me feel assured and secure.
So I had my final miscarriage with twins. Laura was always although I was in hospital, I still kept her up to date, and she still, kept an eye on what was going on with me personally. And that's when then I'd had the final miscarriage. So it was okay, we need to do something, and we need to put a plan in place.
Really appreciate when someone does spend some time with you, or does go the extra mile to listen and try their best to see how they can help.
Helping couples, helping women, and being there for them, and just trying to make a really dark time slightly better, and that's what drives her, and it really shows.
It was just her nature. She almost lights up the ward. That's how it felt for me, and I felt safe.
I just felt I could trust them, and that if I did need anything, they would ring me back.
They were just really kind and caring.
But there was just something extra about Georgia that just made us feel she was almost part of our family during that time.
I had a baby, yeah. I have a healthy baby boy, yeah. So he's now 8 months old. You were never just a number. You were always cared for, and you could tell she was so empathetic to you, and she just wanted you to have that baby too. She was so on the journey with you, and that just made the world a difference.
She really goes out of her way for people to make them feel special.